gentlemen. Let's get into this. Covering the NBA playoffs. First, starting with Lakers and Nuggets, the series everybody's talking about. Defending champions, of course, and LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, um, Lakers down 0-2. Uh, and it's not so much that they're down 0-2. It's how they're down 0-2. That's got everybody in a frenzy. But before we get into all the theatrics, ladies and gentlemen, I just would like to say, don't feel sorry for the Lakers. Do not feel sorry for the Lakers because the Lakers brought this on themselves. The Lakers brought this on themselves. Every single analyst that I've seen advised the Lakers to, their best strategy of action would have been to lose to the Pelicans in the play-in. I think and beat Golden State or something like that to get the eighth seed instead of seventh, right? To play against the Thunder. And that was the way to go. And as you see, the Thunder are struggling in their first round series. I think they may be up 0-2. I think I might have missed some of this. It's hard to follow all these games if you got things going on outside of that. But like I said, the Thunder seem to be struggling. They're young. They're not used to the playoffs. I think they got the youngest team in the playoffs. The Lakers' best choice would have been to lose in the playing round to get the Thunder instead. So listen, don't feel sorry for the Lakers right now. They brought this on themselves. When you ask to play the champions, you pay the price. I'm not sure if it was revenge they wanted. I think AD at Media Day was calling out the Denver Nuggets, said him and Braun had a conversation about it. You got what you wanted. You got the Denver Nuggets. You got to handle business. You had 2 games where you had control of the game. We have got to start treating the Denver Nuggets like they're the world champions. We've got to start treating the Denver Nuggets like they're what do you call it? Like they're a dynasty team. You've got to start treating the Denver Nuggets like they're a dynasty because at the end of the day, whether you realize it or not, that's what you're watching right now. You're watching possibly one of the greatest teams ever assembled in NBA history. People aren't jumping on the bandwagon to go ahead and say all that just because obviously we've got some pretty storied teams here in this league that we follow. But with that being said, you got what, 3-time? We're going to find out in a few days if we've got the three-time MVP in 4 years. He's returned. He's not jumping around, making big 3 teams in the free agency market like it's a popular thing to do. You got Jamal Murray, who's arguably the best player on that very team. Dynamic duo, Batman and Robin. He's there. He's not getting the respect that he deserves. Last year, 2K didn't even give him a 99 rating. They really gave him, I can't remember, it was disrespectful is what they gave him. So he's back with a vengeance. You see the game winner he hit, like Michael Jordan fading out of bounds in Anthony Davis's face. He did the same thing to LeBron last year. He was hitting game winners in LeBron's face last year. Obviously, the Lakers play the Nuggets tough, but it's like let's just transition to another topic about that. There's a lot of theatrics going on post game, the reaction of the Lakers. The interesting thing I want to talk about is the reactions of LA in the post game. Is that I think it highlights something very significant. It's the fact that we got to stop saying these games are rigged because if these games were rigged, then you wouldn't see a drop mic, players walking out, Anthony Davis, LeBron walking out of the interview. I actually it was a refreshing feeling for me to see Anthony Davis and LeBron walk out of their post game interview because it just confirms emotion. It shows that they're attached. It shows that they're invested. It shows that they're bought in. It shows that they don't like the way that the taste felt to lose the buzzer in that capacity. It shows the magnitude, the size, the importance of these games. And that's good. That means that they're taking this very seriously. Means that they wanted to win. It means that this game that we watch and we spend so much time talking about is legitimate. Obviously, you got Adam Silver cleaning things up. He just made a lifetime ban on, coincidentally and ironically, one of the Nuggets star players, Michael Porter Jr., his brother Jonte Porter, was banned for life for betting. So obviously, there's a lot going on in the NBA. Is making attempts to make the game as legit as possible. It's a good product we're watching. It's an authentic product we're watching, and that's confirmed. So there doesn't need to be any question marks about whether this game we're watching is fixed, whether it's whether it's staged, whether there's all this rigged stuff that the people have been talking about. It's a legit game. It's a battle. Guys are going to battle, 5 on 5. 15 on 15, 12 on 12. In between the lines is where these games are determined at, and I'm glad to see that. But like I said, the Lakers, they brought this on themselves. They had the games in their palms, both games, 1 and 2, which is actually, it says a lot for both teams. I think it says a lot for the Lakers because obviously as a 7th seed, people were questioning, their value, saying that they're washed up, and for them to come out, and bring it to the Nuggets as a 7th seed. Both games having a double-digit lead. I think some cases they had even pushed the lead to 20. And the thing is like I said, to not close those games out. I don't know what you look at. I don't know if you look at coaching. I don't know if you look at the players, but you also got to. I think there's just not enough credit given to the Nuggets because to me, what it all boils down to is that again, this is the NBA. There's going to be runs made, both sides of the basketball, both sides of the floor. Every time you step on the floor, these guys are world class players. They're gonna come to play. So but one thing that impresses me about Denver is the fact that I think they know amongst themselves that listen, there's not a team we fear. There's not a team that we feel like, we're out of the game if we're down 15, if we're down 10. We're not out of the game. They believe in their process. They're going to trust in their process. They're going to trust in their coaching and their identity and their system and their style of play. They're going to trust in their personnel. They're going to trust in not only their first unit, but their second unit guys. And their core is just amazing. I mean, Aaron Gordon is just playing, phenomenal basketball. What he's doing physically, the way he's rebounding, the way he's finishing in the paint, the way he's actually handling that ball, the minutes that he's able to play, the defense he's able to play on some of these juggernauts that he's going against is just not getting enough credit. And he's pretty much the X factor. Him and Caldwell Pope. Caldwell Pope's proven to be a true pro at next Lakers. He's got a ring with the Lakers, so he's always coming out to play. He's not trying to lose the Lakers at all. These are defending champs, ladies and gentlemen, and we haven't even got to Nikola Jokic. We haven't even gotten to Jamal Murray. We haven't even gotten to Michael Porter Jr. yet. And then they've got some rookies, a second-year player in Braun, and then Watson. These guys have got some length. They're young, but those are some young legs. So when those guys come in, they're able to put real competitive bodies against some of these guys. So you can't come out to play for 3 quarters, 2 quarters. You got to come out to play for 4 quarters against Nuggets. Everybody should know that. That didn't happen. Lakers have no one to blame but themselves. They did what they needed to do to get to they got the opponent they wanted. They got the leads they wanted. Couldn't close the game out. I highlight the Nuggets play, their system, and their professionality, their championship pedigree that they bring to the table each and every night. I just highlighted to that. That was a big time shot Murray hit. It was classic. It was Jordan-esque to say the least. It was very clutch. I think Jamal Murray's here to Blues in on that 1 seed. How we lost that game at the end of the season to San Antonio. Wemby had an amazing night. But listen, sometimes when you battle test a team, you poke the bear. That team comes out in the playoffs ready to play. So that's that series there. We covered the Nuggets and Lakers. We're going back to LA. We're going to LA for those next 2 games, and we'll see what goes on. But I think it's going to be tough for the Lakers to bounce back after that fashion. Especially in Game 3, if they don't win Game 3, it's a sweep. They got to win Game 3 because their home crowd is going to be there to help them throw that punch. They're here for they felt like hey, we had control of the first 2 games. You see Darvin Ham in the post conference was basically saying that they got to come and the Nuggets, all they did was hold serve. They did what they're supposed to. Now they got to come and win on their floor. Okay, well now you're still talking confident and as you're supposed to. But hey, when you talk, hey, people hear it. You talk to the champs like that, like you got upper hand. We'll see what happens. That they're in a tough situation though. So as far as the Sixers, Sixers are getting outplayed by New York. Obviously, New York has the core that's been together since college. They're playing tough. Brunson has always been playing MVP level this year. You got Josh Hart, who's been stepping up actually. He's stepping up, playing bigger than what people thought he'd be able to play, including myself. He's hitting that jump shot from out danger because now you've got another guy who's a threat from outside. And they've been bringing it to Philly. I think at the end of the day, the injury from Embiid is just kind of in his head, and it's tough. He's still, even though he's shooting threes and stuff like that, he's still your traditional center because of his size and his body mass. It's just kind of like Zion, like anytime you got these big guys trying to play quick with these small guys. I think there's just a lot of running. It's a lot of wear and tear on their legs to try to keep up with the pace of the game, especially when you got to think about it. You got a 7-foot big guy playing with the fastest point guard in the NBA, and that's Maxey. And when Maxey's running 100 miles per hour and the Beats having to keep up with that in transition and stuff like that, I just think he's come back from injury. It's weighing on him. It's they're still trying to find out their identity. Who is the main guy? Is it Maxey? Is it Embiid? And I think that's probably their main issue right now. Just not being able to figure that out. But we'll see what happens there. It looks like it could be an upset, which would kind of shift things around. And that brings me to my next point. In the East, that's kind of what you get, though. You don't really know. Look at what happened last year. I think Miami was the 8th seed and they went to the finals and beat Boston. That's the only reason why I'm not so sold on Boston. They disappointed me last year. They made it hard for me to believe in them. I know they brought Kristaps Porzingis over. I know that they added some stuff, and they say that I get it, and they do look pretty nice. But they looked nice last year. I'm just not sold on the winning ability of Jaylen Brown and Tatum, Jason Tatum. I'm not. But we'll have to see. I do like Derek White, though. I like that he plays the way he plays. I think he brings something there. Like I said, they have it all. They have it all on paper. I'm just not sold on them. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like in the East. The East is just wild. It's basically you play decent basketball, you get a free trip to the finals. That's kind of how it works. So, and I like it right now for our dynasty. For the Nuggets, I think with it being like that, any of the teams, I guess you could say besides maybe Boston, it just gives an obvious advantage to Denver. So it's like the Western Conference, like everybody was saying last year, the finals was the Lakers and Nuggets. And that's why it's so entertaining to watch the Lakers and Nuggets in this round, because obviously, you're looking at the heavyweights in the West Conference, and then with the 1 seed being so young. And like I said, it just even though they were happy to win those playoff games, you can't be a 1 seed and celebrating for beating the 8 seed, barely in the fourth quarter by 2-3 points. Seeing that kind of lost me on them a little bit. They're just a little too young for me. I don't think when you get in the late rounds, that's gonna work in their favor this year. Maybe they're building something like Sacramento, I guess, young, just youth. But hey, it's looking good for where we're at as far as Denver and where we're looking at. I told guys, hey, this is NBA training, and for studying purposes, I've told guys since last year. You can go back in the channels and watch. I covered it the same way last year in the playoffs. Watch Jamal Murray. That's the guy to study for you backcourt guys. He's got it all. He's got package. He's got the full package. He's got the ball handling. He's got the catching and shooting. He's got the point guard, shooting guard skills, all to a T. Besides Steph Curry, I don't see anybody who does it better. He's a little younger. He does it a little differently. He does it a little bit more crisp as far as his shoe mechanics. So I'd say his, a little bit more athletic than a Steph Curry. Maybe doesn't take as many wild shots, but as people say, that kind of messed up the game a little bit, because now you got everybody shooting these crazy long threes. You got 2 guys that I say that shoot that ball kind of crazy from longer than 30 feet consistently, and that's Damian Lillard and Steph. Other than that, I don't really know. I haven't seen anybody else do it consistently. You could try to mention Trae Young, but look at where he's at right now. It's not really working for him. It hasn't really worked out for his career. He hasn't been able to translate that to winning. Hawks were out of the playoffs. You see the Lillard's team, the Bucks. You see Steph Curry's team, the Warriors. They've still been competing late in the season in these playoffs for the past decade. Lillard, by the way, shout out to him with the game he had the other night. I think he had 35 in the first half. Vintage Dame Lillard game. He went Dame time. He definitely was on fire, throwing flames from everywhere, couldn't miss, hitting pull-ups, hitting step backs in everybody's face, from damn near half court and logo. And he was getting to the bucket and getting money. You got to tip your hat to him. And with the Bucks being a 3 seed, it kind of looked like they was going to be lower, just with all the criticism that Doc Rivers was getting for how bad that he was coaching. But you got to watch out for them now. I say it's probably going to be a matchup of the Bucks and the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. And if the Bucks do make it there, be nervous, Boston, because obviously they've got guys. You got to remember they did this without Giannis. And it seems to me like Dame. I don't know what you guys think, but it seems to me like Dame kind of took Giannis not being there as an opportunity. And maybe that speaks to, maybe was it the fact that Giannis was kind of in the way of Dame, because, in Portland, it was just Dame, and, he was able to do everything he was able to do, become a top 100 player. And with that, with Giannis finally out, do you think that maybe that allowed him to maybe play his game the way that he plays it? I'm not sure, but that was definitely a silent sign for the Bucks and for the NBA. He put the NBA on notice, he put the Bucks on notice, he put the playoffs on notice. He's here, he's ready to win. He said, "This is what you brought me here for," and he showed it. 35 points in the first half was amazing. Who else do we got here that's making noise? I think we got Clippers, Russell Wilson, James Harden. That duo is back. They're looking pretty decent. Um, um, who else do we got that jumps out of me real quick? I'm not sure. Nothing. I mean, I'm sure we got some other rounds. It's the first round. Some more teams that are not going to be there in the second round. Getting into the late into the playoffs, but let's just take a look at the full complete bracket real quick so we can look at what's going on. We talked about Boston, Miami. We talked about the Pelicans. OKC up 1-0. Surprised it's not been to 2 games yet. I think that's what I talked about. Yeah, that's just they barely beat the Pelicans. That's not, one seed's not supposed to barely beat the Pelicans. That youth is interesting. But shout out to them for making the 1 seed. But you got to handle business a little better than that. Cleveland and Orlando, that's one I haven't really been paying much attention to because again, it's the weaker conference. I just don't really pay attention to the East Conference, at least until the conference championships, because all these other rounds feel like the regular season games. But it looks like Cleveland's up 0-2. I don't think they have a chance. Either one of those teams, whoever wins that one's probably going to be out early first round, second round. Knicks, Philly, we discussed that. Okay, that was Wednesday games. I think we've covered pretty much everything, ladies and gentlemen. So, well, that does it for NBA Training TV today. Think I've covered everything pretty much. Let's get better. Let's stay in the gym. Contact me if you want any specific workouts, tips like that as far as the collegiate level, high school prep level, or pro or NBA. Staying in the gym is what it's all about. Like I said, for you smaller guards, I want you guys watching Jamal Murray. Let's see who else. It's I can't think of. Just watch Jamal Murray. It's his time. And as far as the bigger guys, Nikola Jokic. You can just watch the Nuggets. Get those moves. Let's get better, guys.